every single person that you or I has ever known is dead. There is no God. There is no God.
Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck tech is another one straight out of Aether Drift Early Access. Kind of a crazy idea, and we actually pull it off. This one's called Godless. The idea in this deck is we're trying to ask ourselves the question, what if we use all of the crazy new Agatha's Soul Cauldron tech, but we combine it with a deck that utilizes Urborg Scavengers with insane value so that we have two different ways to pay off all of the crazy different kinds of cards that we're just throwing into the graveyard. And the reason I had the idea for this deck is because I noticed that the new loot is super good with both of them. All of the exhaust abilities can be handed out to pretty much every creature with Soul Cauldron, which is nuts. But also, if you exile loot with the Urborg Scavengers, you get an insane amount of value being able to swing in with haste and vigilance and double strike right away, and getting a second trigger with the Urborg Scavengers. So having 8 different cards in the deck that give you insane payoffs for some of the crazy stuff that you're dumping in your graveyard just seems too good to ignore. So we did it. We went there, and the deck is bananas. The reason why it's called Godless is because we're not playing our gods, we're dumping our gods, and then we're exiling them from the graveyard. I guess you're gonna have to see it. But be sure to like the video. It helps me get the video out to so many more people, helps the channel grow. I appreciate it a lot. Also, I want to apologize for all of the tripping over my words I'll be doing in this deck tech, and just probably the zombie state that I'm in playing the game. I streamed for 25 straight hours, just got as many deck techs in as I could during early access so I could get some crazy ideas out to you guys. It was a lot of work, and all of those decks are on the way. So if you're new, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any contents. Catch me live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/QuarantineCapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. I'm going to pre-release tonight, and I'm pretty excited about that. But enough about that. Let's check out the deck. So this is Godless. Why is it Godless? Because we're not playing the gods, we're dumping them in our yard, and we're exiling them from existence. This is an Urborg Scavengers deck, but it's also an Agatha's Soul Cauldron deck at the same time. Why? How? Because we have Loot the Pathfinder, which synergizes with both of those things. This is a 2/4 double strike vigilance haste for 5 mana. It has 3 exhaust abilities. One of them is basically Dark Ritual, the other one is basically Ancestral Recall, and the third is basically Lightning Bolt. Now the thing with exhaust is you can only use it once in the entire game for that creature. If you get a new copy of the creature, you can use each of the exhaust abilities again. But we're breaking that rule by using the Soul Cauldron. If we exile the loot, we can now give every single creature we have that has a counter on it each of those exhaust abilities. So each of our creatures can tap to Dark Ritual, or can tap to Ancestral Recall, or can tap to Lightning Bolt, whatever we want. But we don't stop there, because if we don't have an Agatha's Soul Cauldron, that's fine. We've got Urborg Scavengers. We play this on 3 after dumping a loot in our graveyard. We immediately get to exile a card from our graveyard and pick up all the keyword abilities from that card and get a +1/+1 counter. So, Double Strike Vigilance Haste, 3/3. Because of the haste, we swing in with Vigilance, which means it can still be a blocker the next turn, and Double Strike, which means it's swinging in for 6 because of the counter, but when it swings, it gets to do it again, exile another creature and put another counter on it. So now we can exile one of our other creatures to get even more value, like the namesake of the deck, Hazoret Godseeker, a 5/3 indestructible haste for only 2 mana. What's the catch? It has Start Your Engines, and it can only attack or block if you have max speed. But we don't care about that. We exile it with the Scavengers on that second hit, or sometimes on the first if we don't have a loot yet, and it gains the indestructible as well as another counter. Absolutely insane, so hard to deal with, and just takes over the game. But also, if we don't have that loot, we can exile Hazoret as the first card to still pick up that haste, so that we can attack with the Urborg Scavengers to get that second trigger, which is super, super nice. In addition, we have 4 copies of Sire of 7 Deaths. We can exile any of these to pick up all of those keywords. Do you see those keywords? I see those keywords. They are insane. But in addition to that, we have other ways we can use the Sire of 7 Deaths, because if we exile the loot with the Soul Cauldron, we can make a ton of mana by having all of our creatures use that Dark Ritual Exhaust ability, and then just play out the Sire of 7 Deaths. Is that not good enough for you? Fine. We dump 𝐿𝑒𝐴 Artisan into the graveyard, which has an activated ability to pay 1 mana, put any creature or vehicle from our hand onto the battlefield, and if it's an artifact, it gets 2+1/+1 counters. So, we exile that with the Agatha's Soul Cauldron, and now every single one of our creatures gets the ability to pay 1 tap, put whatever we want from our hand onto the battlefield for free. Enter Sire of 7 Deaths, or sometimes even just loot. Pretty insane. We've also got 2 copies of Voldaren Thrillseeker that we can eat up with the Soul Cauldron so that all of our creatures can tap to just do damage, or rather sacrifice to do damage straight to a face and win the game that way, which is kind of insane. And then we've got some enablers. Inti is going to let us discard a card every turn to get what we need into the graveyard, while also giving us counters to put on things to fuel Agatha's Soul Cauldron, and gas us up by exiling things that we can play. We've got the new Dredger's Insight, which is a 2 mana that's going to mill 4 when we play it, but unlike Overlord of the Baelmerk, it can find an artifact, creature, or land. So if we happen to self-mill away the Agatha's Soul Cauldron, we pick it out of there with the Dredger's Insight, and it's safe. And then also, whenever an artifact or creature leaves our graveyard, we get to gain a life, which is actually super relevant because they're constantly leaving our graveyards, and we're just gaining all this incidental life that helps us survive against aggro. We're also running 4 copies of Quag Feast because it fills up our graveyard with what we need while also killing their stuff as early as turn 2, and then scales to kill whatever we need it to later in the game because we're filling up our graveyard so much. In addition to that, we're running 2 copies of Bitter Triumph to supplement the 4 copies of Quag Feast. It is another way to get something in the graveyard because we can discard, but this one's an instant, so we can also use it as a combat trick to kind of blow out our opponent on their turn and just go completely ham. The deck is nuts, and it's always able to do one thing or the other. It has enough cross-pollinated synergies that it can do the damn thing, and your opponent doesn't know which direction you're gonna go, and it's hilarious. If you want the full mana base, we're mostly using Surveil lands and all the new Verges. If we're using Surveil lands, it makes sense to use the Verges because they're just kind of free ways to get dual lands without having to lose life, without having to use pain lands. And we definitely want to use the Surveil lands to fill up the graveyard. So check out the mana base in the description if you're interested. This is the deck. I am tired. It's been a 24-hour stream, so I'm going to go to bed. Let's check out the games. We're going to keep this. We have some interesting options here. We're going to start with the Raucous Theater. Dump the land. I think we play Dredger's Insight first. Like, we could play Inti, but we're putting it out there to potentially just die to removal. And I don't know how I feel about that. We have a Soul Cauldron. We do not have the other thing. I think we take the land. Is that crazy? We're going to take an untapped land. Now, the reason that might be crazy is because we actually need to land a creature and have it stick in order to use the Soul Cauldron. Oh man. Oh man, shit just got real. We grab the loot. And we will exile a land and not the Ovia. Hit for 8. It might die. We're not going to be able to give it indestructible. But we still have the Soul Cauldron and the Ovia so that we can pop out a Sire of 7 deaths, as long as we can get any creature to stick. Which, honestly, kind of wild. Let's jam Inti. I think we want to hold up the ability to Bitter Triumph. Because if we still have Inti there, we can just play the Soul Cauldron next turn. And still have enough mana left over to tap Inti and slam a Sire of 7 deaths. But if Inti's dead, playing the Soul Cauldron this turn is kind of bad. Destroy a creature or planeswalker. Well, that's a problem. That is, in fact, a problem. A 3rd Soul Cauldron. Good God. We're gonna try playing it. He has to tap it in response. Alright, he's a dummy. Exile Ovia. Give me some life. Then activate ability. Oh, you're gonna be very sad, sir. I mean, we don't get to attack this turn, but that use of braided nets was questionable. Oil Deep Gearhulk. Do your worst. Best he can do is make us discard a Bitter Triumph. Okay, he's gonna discard a land. I guess that's fine. And now we have a loot. So, we go discard a card, target you, yes, discard loot, auto pay, tap. You're gonna tap it. In response, exile the loot. We already discarded it, buddy. Put a counter on the Sire. Tap you. Do we want mana? No. I want to draw cards. Resolve. Eat the Gearhulk. Play the land we exiled. We could play another Inti if we wanted to. Let's just attack for a lot. Let's hold on to the backup Cauldron because we have a million lands right now. So we're gonna discard a land. And see if we can find something to play. Holy moly. Holy moly. Well, I guess now that it's done doing its thing, we could draw more cards. I guess we can do that during his turn though, right? Yeah. Just in case he has some kind of like hasty guy or whatever. Thank you for the cards. What do we got in here? We got a Sire, but we don't have anything with haste. Do we have any way of getting anything with haste in there? Dredger's Insight? Nope. Not really. Theater to try and hit something, maybe? With haste? Can I get lucky? Hey, it's Hazoret. There we go. We did it. Congratulations. Hazoret. You are mine. Welcome to my world, Hazoret. That's fine. Unless I can put a counter on it. I don't think that's gonna matter. It still gets indestructible. We still gain some life. I guess we'll pass the turn. Does it pick up ward? I don't think it picks up ward. Oh, he gets to kill it. That's so sad. That is so sad. Yep, nothing we can do. Just not big enough yet. You're still just a little guy. I mean, we'll exile something from your yard. Deadly cover up. Get out of here with that. We got a lot of stuff. Just can't do anything with it. Let's try the Thrillseeker. Shoot the sheriff? That's just rude. That's just rude. Play Inti. Hold up Quag Feast. End the turn. We just have, like, we always have something. We just always have something. I think he's toast, bro. I think he's, how do the kids put it? Cooked? I think he's cooked. Yeah, he's dead. We don't even need to attack. He has to have removal. Well, there's the removal. Alright, fine. Didn't mean to bring you to my world. Exile the Thrillseeker. Counter on 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Now it can do everything. Let's Quag Feast this guy. How many cards do we have in the yard? Mana value less than or equal to, so we can kill a token easy. Let's just do it. Let's just kill the token. Get out of here, token. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you, token. What you got for me? You gonna craft? You gonna get crafty? Draw 5 for 4 mana. Well, you'd have to craft with an artifact, so you'd actually draw 4. And you'd only have 3 mana left over. Well, Might and Weak Stone you could tap for mana. Alright, makes sense. Draw some cards. Find that removal. Repurposing Bay. Grim Awful. That's not enough. Bro. That's not enough. We'll use Loot's ability to Lightning Bolt. And then the Thrillseeker's ability to be Dunzo. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Alright. This looked decent. Dredger's Insight on 2, and then hopefully we can find some gas for Scavengers. So we'll keep it. Linamore Elves, sure. Alright. Surveil away a land, I guess. Wastewood Verge, turn 2. 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. Swing instead of mana. Tricky decision to make. Gonna be completely honest. Let's see if we can fill up the yard with some gas. No dice. No dice. Inti will help though. We'll take the Inti and the life. We will take the Inti and the life. You may take our lives, but you may never take our Inti. Inti? Indy? Dr. Jones! Alright, I need to shut up. Elves swing in, get the speed 3, sure. Sure. Don't think we want a Scavengers yet. So, we'll play the Theater. And then we'll probably play Inti. And set ourselves up. It's either a body for our Soul Cauldron, or it's a discard outlet for our loot so we can scavenger it. Or maybe it's both. We shall see. We shall see. Definitely moving slower this game than we want to be. He probably uses removal just to make sure his guy gets through. I don't think he wants to take the chance that we block. Which is a bummer. Oh, nope. Just going to play Sabsunin. Sabsunin. only we had a different way to discard. If only. If only. We can only put a counter on a creature we control with the Soul Cauldron. If we could put it on the Sabsunin, that would be so amazing. So amazing. 4, 5. Not worth it. So I guess we dump you. We get a land. Wow. You're just gonna take it? That's so weird. You have indestructible. I don't know why you did that, but okay. Draw to swing for 7. That's really weird. Like, what makes Sabsunin so good is the fact that she can block with indestructible the turn that you play her. So to completely negate that whole part of the card by just letting me through seems kind of bad. It seems kind of bad. Alright, you're at 4 speed. Good ol' 4 speed. Ovia. We need more ways to discard. Yes. Yes, we do. Counter, counter. Discard the loot, pick it up, we get double strike. We're still not going to survive against the Sabsunin. We have Menace. So I guess maybe... Alright, I got a plan. Here's my plan. Full control. Trigger. I guess we just exile whatever. Bounce off. Bounce off? We don't have a way to give hexproof, do we? I mean, we could Soul Cauldron eat the thing to do 4 damage to whatever. That feels really bad, though. We'll just bounce off. That's fine. That is fine. I think I'd rather do it this way. Discard you. Don't care about you. Ovia. And now we get to drop loot. And then use loot to do things. We could gain 3 mana to play another Scavenger. That doesn't seem super good. or to play the Dredger's Insight. I guess it's probably better to just do that, huh? We would need 2 green, though, to pull that off, which we can't do. We can only do 3 damage to a target. So I guess we'll wait. So we can do it on his turn. We'll drop loot into play. Block with loot, tap loot to lightning bolt something. Sure. Make a 3/2. What a weird deck. Muyan Ling with Sabsunin? Do we let it through? We might want loot to go to the yard so that we can exile it with the Soul Cauldron, right? But maybe not. Maybe getting to swing with it next turn is good too. We'll take the 8. It's got haste though, so if he tries to do anything, we can just use stuff in response. How does it... How was I able to use that for blue? Oh, just because Soul... Oh, Soul Cauldron just being down lets me do it. That's actually kind of awesome. Don't have anything to dump, really. I guess we do it like this. Dump a land. There's a part of me that thinks maybe we should have just played the Thrillseeker on the loot. We've got an 𝐿. Okay. I guess we put another counter with the Thrillseeker. And he's almost dead. Actually, he just is dead, isn't he? Because he didn't block. Because of the Thrillseeker. Yeah, he's just dead. Loot's got double strike. He's dead in a lot of ways. Lightning bolt. Thrillseeker. We can Thrillseeker the Inti. We could play another Thrillseeker. Good God. Good God. all of our payoffs, none of our enablers, but we do have a Quag Feast. So we have a chance to get there. We're going to try it. Especially because we're on the draw. We get a little bit more opportunity because of being on the draw. So we're going to start with our Raucous Theater. 𝐿𝐼. I mean, do we just dump it and hope to hit something else? I think, yeah. Although it's worth noting we could have played it next turn. But we can also just play the Quag Feast. It would have taken 2 swings with 𝐿𝐼 to get the same number of cards in the yard as 1 Quag Feast. And next turn, we've got our loot. And our 𝐿𝐼. So, it might be... well, we probably don't even want to exile the 𝐿𝐼, right? Probably just exile like a land or something. But 2 counters. Double strike, vigilance. We might shut him right down. We might. We shall see. Yeah, I think it's just better to eat his own goblin. And now we have a 4/4 double strike blocker. Pump will do nothing because our first strike will eat right through it. He needs removal, but he needs to do 4 damage. I don't see it happening. We'll see, maybe. But I don't really see it happening. You think loot's gonna get banned? I don't think loot will get banned. 𝐁𝐫𝐞𝐧𝐚 Engineer. Sure. Other creatures get haste, but not the 𝐁𝐫𝐞𝐧𝐚 Engineer. Just eat the squee. Eat the squee. We go down to 7, but I mean, we're pretty damn stabilized. We are pretty damn stabilized. Let's Dredger's Insight. See what we can hit. Come on, give me a Sire. This game is over if I hit a Sire. Even if we don't hit a Sire, we're gaining life back from the Dredger's Insight, so it's kind of awesome. Does he even know what to do? We didn't really get what we want. We did get an untapped land, though. Do we play the Soul Cauldron? Just so that we can make our dude bigger? Maybe. It would be nice to play the Hazoret so that we can start our engines. But now he's in danger. Now he's in danger of lethal. Which means we force him to block, which means he can put out less damage next turn. We don't have trample, do we? What are you doing? What are you doing? What kind of pro tour? What kind of pro tour entrant are you? Good lord. Alright, we're gonna mulligan this. It's not super good. This is better. We'll try it. We'll put back Thrillseeker. We need to draw cards as much as possible. We're going to start with the Raucous Theater into the Wastewood Verge. Okay, dump the Thrillseeker. That's one piece of gas for our Soul Cauldron. Stormblade Berserker. Ooh. Ah. We're gonna need to draw into another untapped land. Get rid of Hazoret. We might be a turn off with the Scavengers. We might be one turn off with the Scavengers. Vieta. I guess we just play Inti and the Mortuary. And we got loot. Well, shit just got interesting, guys. Assassin's Trophy. Sure. Oh yeah, we don't have any basics. Oops. It's okay though. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. What else can we dump? A land. Scavengers. We will exile loot. We will swing. We will exile Hazoret. 4/4 vigilance, double strike, indestructible haste. Sounds good. You better not have any exile removal. Now we've got Novia. Do we want Ovia in the yard, or do we want to play the Ovia? I think we'll do this. Dump the land. Soul Cauldron. Any activated abilities? Yes, we have the Thrillseeker. I guess we probably just eat his dude. Has to block. Oh, he's not even going to. We just got him. We just got him. There it is. Easy peasy. We're going to keep this. We're going to start with the commercial district. And then we have actually a lot of options for turn 2. We don't want to dump the Scavengers. Honestly, back-to-back Scavengers could be really good. We'll draw it. Do we Bitter Triumph? Or do we Dredger's Insight? We don't really have anything in our hand that we know for sure we want in the yard, so I think it's better to Dredger's Insight first. We take the Soul Cauldron, and we leave the things that we want to eat. Holy moly. Things are about to get wild. Things are about to get wild. You do you, bro. Scavengers. We don't need the indestructible right away. Then we swing. We get the indestructible. Good luck, buddy. We smash for 8. 4/4 Vigilance, Double Strike, Haste, Indestructible. That's gonna get bigger every turn. Oops. Goodbye, Brew Lab. That's what you get for scooping on me earlier. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck techs, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.